Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of After Dark. We finally returned for the second season of Dark, and we're just watching the first episode. This first segment is just basically going to talk about the what transpired right before the intro. These two, mysterious characters, one of which at the end was revealed to be young Noah. The other one, I think, is old Bartosh. And the reason why is because, first of all, at the end of the last season, he gets like indoctrinated into this like weird religious cult type of a thing by Noah. Noah like tells him, we're like on the good side, whereas like everybody else is on the bad side. And he's also got the same tattoo on his chest that Noah has on his back. And right before he gets, killed by this young kid who is revealed to be, young Noah, he also says, like, it's revealed that he's lost faith in the whole thing. And, like, he's been doing this for the older version of Noah for a long time and has now realized that it's all bullshit.
I mean,
it kind of checks out.
I definitely think that it's possible, and that actor looks more like Bartosh than the older Jonas looks like younger Jonas.
Yeah.
And it's entirely possible that Noah's tattoo inspired Bartosh's tattoo, if that is indeed him. But I could also see if it wasn't him. But it probably is him.
It seems like it is. I mean, it just seems like they're implying that when he, like, signed on to this whole thing at the end of last season, like, they're showing, like, him at the end of his life when he realizes that, oh, I didn't realize, like, what I was signing on to in the first place, And just, like, that comment at the end when he said, like, I hope that he explains to you why he called you Noah. Like, I mean, it just seems like...
Which is funny that it's Jonas who names Noah Noah.
Yeah.
But I'll just, in the segment on this, I think it's weird that if you were to take a pickaxe and stab someone in the shoulder, I feel like they wouldn't just die instantly, that they'd scream and writhe around in pain first. Like, that was a really messed up way to kill someone. Like, he could have hit him in the back of the head. Like...
And weirdly enough, he seemed like he knew it was coming. Like, he was totally at peace with it, you know what I mean? He just, like, turned around.
Noah probably told Bartosh about that time he killed a man. Or, I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
This is the show that references itself.
Yeah, I mean, like, he turned around and he was just, like, ready for it, you know what I mean? He didn't even look back. He just knew it was coming.
If I knew somebody was gonna kill me like that, I'd just kill myself. Like, seriously. Or run away, or not die that way, because how awful.
That's a bad way to die.
That's an ugly death.
Yeah, that's a very ugly death. So, I don't know. There's a popular theory going around on, like, a lot of, like, the discussion groups and whatnot that the person who we believe at this point to be old version of Jonas, well, I guess, like, middle version of Jonas, because old version of Jonas is Adam. We'll call him middle Jonas, is not actually Jonas. And I think that, like, based on the scene when he comes into his house and, like, proves to Hannah that he is actually, like, her son, I just don't see how that theory could possibly be true. I mean, first of all, obviously, like, the details, and one might argue, like, well, he could have found that out from somebody else, or, like, made the scar on his own arm. But first of all, like, when he embraces her, like, the emotion on his face was real. You know what I mean? He was legitimately...
Also, how he reacts to Marta.
Exactly. Like, his emotional reactions seemed, like, on point. And then also, what you said, actually, about, like, him seeing Hannah, young Hannah, and her dad 33 years earlier, when young Jonas went back in time for the first time. Mm-hmm. How else would he know about that? It's gotta be him. Maybe there's a casting issue.
Yeah, they just didn't take care to give old Jonas or young Jonas probably made more sense to make young Jonas wear contacts because both of his parents have brown eyes. It would have, there was one detail that they just missed.
I see why people, subscribe to that theory, because also somebody else pointed out in one of those groups that, like, he's also, like, 3 or 4 inches taller than Lewis Hoffman, who plays young Jonas.
Well, but he's still a teenage boy.
Well, he's like 16 or 17. You wouldn't expect him to grow 4 more inches.
Boys, the limit for boys of growth is 21.
Yeah.
So I can roll with that, even though the actor's 22, but Jonas himself is still in high school.
Yeah.
So I'm not bothered by that. It's more the eye thing.
Yeah, I mean, he just, his...
Like, your eye, like, well, I mean, David Bowie got hit in the face and one of his eyes became brown from blue, but that was one eye and he was hit. Like, so older Jonas's eyes. I mean, if we're going with that, like the fact that his parents both have brown eyes, it's very unlikely that he'd have blue eyes anyway. So
yeah. I don't know. It just seems like the way that like middle Jonas is acting. I mean, it seems authentic. I can't imagine. Yeah. I can't imagine like any of that not being authentic. Like, why would he cry when he was like embracing Hannah, and why would he go through all the trouble like in the next episode that we haven't rewatched yet, of like taking her back in time just so she could see Mikkel and all that stuff. It just seems like a lot of trouble if it wasn't actually him, So,
yeah, I disagree with that theory. Yeah, there's no way to it.
I think it's him. So
just a slight casting issue.
Yeah. Okay, so Clausen, right? Like he's like the new leader of the task force to try and figure out what the fuck is going on in this crazy ass town where just everything's going to shit. In like I think it's the last episode or maybe the second to last episode of season 2. It finally gets revealed that like the whole reason why he's there is because Alexander Tiedemann actually is assuming the identity of Clausen's dead brother. So my question is, like, seeing like all this stuff that he's doing, like terrorizing the police force and just basically being a complete pain in the ass, why does he not just fucking drive to Alexander's house right now and interrogate him?
He wants to know what everyone knows first. I mean, Tiedemann has been a pillar of the community for the last, 3 decades or so. You can't just roll up on like the richest guy in town and think that you're gonna be able to make him crack, right? So he needs to figure out what everyone knows first. And in terms of how he's conducting business, it's like this has been a real crackpot team. Like they have almost a dozen people who have gone missing, including a cop. Like they need someone to come in there and crack the whip because they've done a really shitty job.
Well, I get that, but I mean, at this current point in time, there's no reason to really like believe that Alexander has anything to do with the missing kids. You know what I mean?
Well, he made one person disappear. Probably.
Right, and he already knows that, so why doesn't he just go and talk to them? He seemed like overly invested in all the events that have...
He needs more proof because... I mean, he goes into like the whole name thing and how many people have that name, etc., etc.
Right. All of which has nothing to do with any of the things that have gone on recently.
No, but that's a hunch. He wants to go in with proof, or at least something to make Tiedemann slip. Oh, thanks for watching with us. Yeah.
Tune in for the analysis of episode 2 of After Dark.